What's up, friends? Welcome back to KimmyDTV, a place where nurses and aspiring nurses come to achieve academic, career, and life success. And in this video, we're going to be talking about why your BSN ain't work. I am just kidding. I'm just kidding. I could already hear the heartbeats of those with BSNs rise, and you guys are probably having some diaphoresis going on. Relax, calm down. I had to do something, say something to get your attention. But yeah, welcome to this video. Please pardon my appearance again. Guys, this vlogmas is really hard, and it's like my hair's not done yet, and I just came from work, and yeah, I just came from New York. I just came from work, so I just feel really. But anyways, let's jump into the video. All right, guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about why I think it's smarter for you to get your ADN, your associate's degree in nursing, first versus your BSN, your bachelor's degree in nursing. Okay, so who am I? Why should you listen to me? For those of you guys who are new to my channel, I have been an LPN, a licensed practical nurse, for about, this October will make me about 8 years now. And I have been a registered nurse for 1 year now. Okay, the end of November is when November 2020 was when I passed my boards. So that would make me 1 year as an RN. So that's nearly 9 years of, 9 years of nursing under my belt. So next year I would have been a nurse for a decade. Oh my god, guys, time flies by so fast. So for those guys who don't know, who have been watching my journey, I decided that I want to go back for my RN back in, I want to say like 2018. To make things make sense for you in regards to my journey, my LPN to RN journey, I do have a video on my channel explaining my LPN to RN journey. If you're really interested in that, I'll leave it down in the description box below. But I decided to go back from my RN, and I had many people tell me, go for your BSN, go for your BSN, because there are hospitals that are magnet status, and you know, employers are always asking for a bachelor's degree, bachelor's degree, bachelor's degree. So I'm not going to go too deep into it because, like I said, I have another video, but I was starting to take some prerequisites towards my bachelor's. Long story short, I got some advice from a co-worker who said, no honey, just do your associates. I got my associates, and here I am. So with my 1 year of RN experience, I would say the only reason why I think you should get your BSN is if you're somebody who is straight out of high school and you have, and listen to that keyword, and you have a full ride to get your bachelor's degree in nursing. And the reason why I say that is because, number one, it's cost effective. And if you're 18, 19 years old, please, if you have ears to listen, listen. I really wish I could go back to my 18 and 19-year-old self and say, pay attention, okay? I don't consider loans financial aid, even though it is. I don't consider it positive financial aid, because trust me, loans do come back to haunt you, okay? I'm still paying off my student loans right now, so it does hinder me in some way of making certain moves that I would like to make in my life, because I have these dang on student loans, okay? So my student loans came from somewhere else. Like I said, watch the video. But I'm just saying, if you're in high school and you want to get your BSN first, if it's cheaper to get your associate's degree, go that route. But with that being said, make sure you know exactly which prerequisites that you need in order to get into your associate's degree of nursing program, because colleges do like to play with you, okay? Colleges do like to play with you, but colleges don't play with those in KimmyDTV, right? So colleges like to play with you, but the main prerequisites that you need is Anatomy 1, Anatomy 2, Psychology 1, which is regular psych, Growth Psychology 2, which is like growth and development, English 1, English 2, Sociology, and Microbiology. that is the only prerequisites that you may need, and it may only take you a year. It took me like, maybe I took some of my prerequisites in while I was in nursing school, but if you're going to take it separately, I do recommend that. If you could go into a nursing program where they mix the prerequisites and your nursing school at the same time, I would say do that. If you don't have to work and you're still living under your parents, I say why not? If you feel like you can handle it, do it. But if you want to take your prereqs separately too, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're 18 years old, you just came out of high school. Yeah, go to college and take those prerequisites that I mentioned, and then after you finish those prerequisites, make sure you get the highest grade that you possibly can. You apply for the program in your college, or if your college doesn't accept you, you can always take those prerequisite credits and transfer them into another college. But don't wait too long, because remember, your anatomy, your micro, your sciences basically is only good for about 5 years, and you don't want that knowledge to leave your mind, because once you do get into your nursing courses such as med-surg, you're going to want to have a strong foundation and knowledge of anatomy and physiology. Okay, so I just want to get that out of the way. That's the only way I would think about how it would make sense for somebody to get their BSN first. Okay, now for all my people like me who got their LPN first and did the stepladder effect, the reason why I say BSN is you should just do your ADN first is, let me give you an example. So while I was in my nursing school, I ran into a friend of mine who I went to LPN school with, and she told me that she was getting her BSN. And in my head, I was thinking, like, I didn't really tell her because it's been a long time since we've spoken. It's been like years, so she's not really a friend anymore. She's like more of an acquaintance. But I was like, hey, and when she told me she was in her BSN, I was quite surprised. But I never impose my beliefs and my ideas on others. I don't solicit advice. I'm just giving advice because you guys are my subscribers, you guys are my friends, and I'm just giving you great advice. But in my head, I'm thinking, well, why would you do that? Because my school, the school I went to for nursing, has a BSN program that is 3 years, but the LPN to RN program is only 1 year. Okay, so if I would have took the BSN route, I would have still been in school. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in, oh my god, we have to have the BSN. Sometimes we just do it for the title. And I get it, I understand. Like when I was working in the jail, I went through so much, and I wanted the BSN titles to show everybody, bam, I'm a BSN RN. And even at my job at the psych hospital where I work at, there are some people who have the RN just like me, and there are some people who make sure it says BSN RN. And in my opinion, quite frankly, I feel like there's not much of a difference. I don't care, come for me, but I feel like there's not much of a difference. I feel like just like there are ADN RNs who can run circles around BSN RNs, I feel like there are LPNs who can run circles around RNs. Shoot, I feel like there are some CNAs who can run circles around RNs. And that is to say that on paper, yes, your education matters and your degree matters. But in real life, we all know that your experience that you have obtained is the one that really matters. Okay, so it doesn't make somebody a stronger nurse just because they have the book education. Now I know this is like very controversial to say, and keep in mind, I like school. I don't like nursing school, but I like school, I like education, and I like learning. So much so that I was a valedictorian. So don't get me wrong, I'm not taking your education away from you, but anyone can go to school and memorize a bunch of stuff and get tested. Or, okay, nurse school is not just about memorizing, or learn how to take nurse school questions, or learn how to write essays and research. Like, I'm not saying you don't learn anything from it, but there's theory and then there's applying it into real life. And those of my nurses out there can vouch for that nursing school and real life is two different things. They are like, they never meshed. There are times when I'm at work and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that when I had that that one semester in psych nursing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's affect and effect and all those things. But at the end of the day, all of that knowledge, like, that just goes, I don't want to say out the window. It's somewhere in the back there, but your real knowledge comes in you as a person and how you're able to learn on the job. That is why, that brings me to another point. When it comes to finances as well, employers look for experience. When I first became a RN, I got offended that all of them didn't really care about my LPN experience. Most of them didn't. A lot of them cared about how much RN experience I had. So much so that, you know, some travel nursing position that I wanted was like, no, but it's illegal for us to hire a travel nurse that has less than a year experience. She has to have at least a year experience because, you know, it's illegal for us. So that shows you experience is a lot. So, I mean, I'm sitting here at work at the psychiatric hospital. I have an associate's degree. The person next to me has a bachelor's degree, and we literally have the same pay. And ask me how I know, because we discussed it. So just because you have a bachelor's degree, it doesn't mean that you're gonna make the same amount. It doesn't mean that you're gonna make more than someone who has an associate's degree, okay? And also, experience. While you have your associate's degree, you can work on getting your bachelor's degree if you so decide to do that, okay? Because getting your bachelor's is money, but it's a cheaper way. There are many videos on YouTube where you can search RN to BSN, where YouTubers, people, or if you don't want to go on YouTube, you can go to allnursesforum.com and ask around people that you know. There are plenty of people who have went the stepladder route and have obtained their BSN at a short period of time through WGU or Capella, and it costs them less money because they're able to squeeze all those classes into one. And I feel like that's good, because at least when I go back to school for my BSN, at least I will know, and stay tuned for that to know some details. Stay tuned, keep watching my videos. But at least when I go back to school, I know that I don't have to worry about taking an NCLEX, okay? And that's another pro. When you're an associate's degree, you only have to worry about the basic nursing classes. It's just teaching you how to be a nurse, like the basic skills. And then your BSN is just adding on the extra little classes over there. Now, granted, my opinion may change in the future when I get my BSN. I don't know, I will let you know. But while I'm obtaining my BSN, guess what? Years are going by, and guess what? The more older your RN license become, the more lucrative your pay can become, okay? Because it's just like as an LPN. As an LPN, I wasn't making that much money. But when I became to have 2 years experience, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, that's when employers was like, whoa, you have so much experience. Let me pay you what you deserve and then some. There were some jobs as an LPN, I was able to get RN pay even before the global crisis occurred because of my experience. So that's what I'm saying. Getting your associate's degree is 10 times better, because you have your degree, you could be working, and in some cases, some jobs, depending on how long you stay with them, they can actually pay your way through a bachelor's degree program. How good is that? Okay? So I say this to say, if you're someone who wants to get your RN, I would say the associate's degree is the best route, and then get your BSN. Now, is BSN worth it? Honestly, this whole year, I purposely gave myself a year off. I didn't want to go back to school because school was very stressful. Right after school, I took my test. I moved to a different state. You know, everything was new. But I did battle with myself between whether I wanted to go back to school for my bachelor's or not. Because I'm like, what's the point? Like, I'm getting the same amount of money that a bachelor's prepared nurse gets. And, you know, I'm like, what's the point? Sometimes I do still consider like that. So you can comment down below if you think it means something to get a bachelor's. Because sometimes I feel like well, I could still be a travel nurse with associates. I can still make the same amount of money as a bachelor's. Like, why? Like, especially like since I don't have any really, I don't really have a desire to be like working in a magnet hospital. Like, I don't see how that benefits me in any way. I mean, you know, I honestly don't want to be working for someone else for the rest of my life. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know how that would benefit me. So that's why I was going back and forth. But of course my mom wants me to go back. So eventually I will go back. And the reason being is because I know that in New York they have a BSN before 10 rules. And even though I don't live in New York, I live in Texas, you know, you never know life. And you never know if I want to ever practice nursing back in New York. So I just want to get that done and over with. Second of all, secretly, I kind of miss school. I don't miss nursing school, but I a little bit miss school. And I haven't decided whether or not I want to go for an advanced nursing degree. So I don't want to, a year down the line or 6 months down the line, for me to be like, you know what? I do want a master's degree in nursing. And then I have to rush through the bachelor's program again. So that's why I'm deciding, like, okay, I should go for my BSN. And also I spoke to a nurse and she said she felt the same way, but she got her BSN and she realized that she was more hireable. Jobs were responding back to her a lot more. So I'm like, you know what, let me get my bachelor's, even though I think it's not worth it. Let me get my bachelor's. Maybe, I mean, I saw some jobs that they said bachelor's preferred and they really want a bachelor's. Maybe it will benefit me in some way. So I'm not in a rush to get it, but yes, I am in the process of just applying to different schools, looking at my different options, because as you guys know, I only have the basic prereqs for the associate's degree because I just got the skin and bones of the associate's degree. All right, guys. So I would love to know like what you guys think about this topic. For those guys who have a bachelor's degree, those guys who are in nursing school, those guys who are thinking about going to nursing school, etc. What do you guys think about going for your bachelor's versus your associates? All right, guys, let's continue this discussion below. Bye.